is up, everyone out there in internet land, and welcome to episode 462 of The Straight Shooters, available wherever podcasts are found. I'm your host, Vaughn Johnson, and I'm joined as always by my main man, Pots and Pans, Nick Piccone of Crossing Broad, and we have a couple special guests in the building to talk everything WrestleMania 42, the two-day commercial that was WrestleMania 42. We got Roy Burton from PHLY and Mark Henry Jr. from the Eagles Pin Pull Network. How's everybody on this Tuesday evening, my good brother? I'll start with you, Nick. How are you? Don't talk about the Phillies. I know you're gonna do it.
I'm fired up at least to
Okay,
keep me occupied from
something positive
Philly stuff. As we record right now, the Sixers are up 6 points, but that's going to change in about 2 minutes probably. But hey, it could be worse, I guess.
Well, it's 8 points. It did change right away. But yeah, if you've been living under a rock, you know that you wouldn't know, I guess, that it's a busy time here in Philly. We got two teams in the playoffs at the same time. Since when?
Right.
Since a long time. But the Flyers are up 2-0 in the first round. The Sixers are trying to even the series.
Those goon Penguins.
Yeah, man, that was pretty fun to watch yesterday. Also, we got the Phillies too. They're playing baseball. Okay. At times, but we also got special guests to talk about WrestleMania 42 and Philly sports too, if you want. Roy Burton, Mark Henry. Roy, how are you, my good brother?
Like you said, Vaughn, we got two teams busy in the playoffs as we speak. Xmo rocking, probably, hopefully, over the next couple of weeks if the Sixers can extend this series. We'll see what happens.
Xmo, is that the nickname for the Xfinity Mobile Arena?
That's what I think. I think Kate Scott might have dropped that a couple times on the broadcast.
Okay, Kate.
I'll go with that. I'll go with that.
All right, Kate. Kate Scott. Shout out to Kate Scott.
I might like it better than the X.
I think so. I think I like it. Xmo. It's all dumb.
it'll
all
change in 3
corporate
years,
sponsors, right? It'll be something else. Yeah. It was the Well,
Reminds
the
me of
Wachovia.
Let's go down to the Elmo.
The Elmo. This is all silly. Mark Henry Jr., how are you on this Tuesday evening, good brother?
I'm doing well. In terms of wrestling, in the wrestling world, it's funny for me to be someone who, when everybody's outraged and everybody's complaining, I'm kind of like, it's okay. It's funny to be on the other side of, like, in the middle of something, the centrist on something, I guess.
The centrist on wrestling. You can take it or leave it. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of feelings coming out of WrestleMania. Some, like Mark Henry, can take it, he's centrist on it, but some are really, I wouldn't say super upset, but definitely, let's say, perturbed by some of the things that we saw over the course of WrestleMania weekend. And we're going to talk all about it. Let's start with the night 2 main event. Roman Reigns becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion, defeating CM Punk. CM Punk finally getting this main event, one-on-one match, and he walks out, unfortunately for him, without the championship. I thought this was probably the best match of the weekend, I think. Either this or the Seth Rollins-Gunther match, and the ladder match is pretty good too. But probably the best match of the weekend. Nick, I'll start with you. Thoughts on the night 2 main event with Roman Reigns defeating CM Punk for the world title, and what's next for Roman Reigns too, with what looks like it will be Jacob Fatu at Backlash. So, again, Nick, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, thank goodness for Roman versus Punk, because that's the only reason I'd probably go back and watch any of this weekend. They delivered. It felt like a WrestleMania main event, presented like a WrestleMania main event. Love the entrances, again, like that stage, a lot of people weren't fans of it because they felt like they didn't do enough, but I like having some of the seats there as well in view at the entrance of the stage. I liked that setup. I don't know why people were complaining about that, thinking it was lame. It's a lot better than WrestleMania 35, that's for sure. At MetLife, where it was just one big screen.
Big TV screen.
Yeah. So I thank goodness for that match. And listen, we got color, we got tables. It was overbooked, but not overbooked in a way that it took away from it. Definitely nothing.
I don't think it was overbooked. There was no interference. They just did a lot of stuff.
I say that in maybe that's a bad word to use. Just with Punk and Roman, I guess nobody really thought either of them would win, quote unquote, clean. But listen, man, and that spear Roman gave Punk at the end was like, at least it looked really, really good. So, and I don't know if you see like videos on social media or whatever. Actually, I guess it was on the regular broadcast, just Punk in the background, just flopping around on the outside as they were kind of going off the air. I thought that was great.
Hilarious.
I was like, dude, Punk is like, he must be having the time of his life at this point, because again, one of his main goals in wrestling was to main event WrestleMania, and he did that. Really 2 years in a row, but this one was the main event of WrestleMania. So happy for him, happy for Roman. Finally, we get Roman as champion again, and maybe some more bloodline stuff. So kind of looking forward to see where that goes. I thought for a second before Jacob Fatu came out that like the MFT group will come out, and I was going to get my prediction right, but we haven't gotten there yet, but we might get there soon. So I'm thinking maybe we get Roman with the MFT crew. So
That'd be insane. I don't want to see that at all. I'm sorry. What? Why would we do that?
He did kind of like give Jay and Jimmy a couple shots, so that's why it made me think like maybe he's not fully back on board with those two.
He said, "I miss you guys. I miss y'all.
Like
give me love."
It's the old Roman It's the old Roman. I think
It definitely is the old Roman.
Yeah.
He's still terrible, and Jey Uso should not just be ready to just jump back into this, but yet there he is. He should put up some resistance, but nah. He's like, "I miss y'all. All right, I miss you too," and that was it. Put up the ones. We back. Like what? Come on now.
You eat it for me, So I guess we're good.
Whatever. I don't love it. Roy, how are you feeling about Roman Reigns and winning at WrestleMania over CM Punk, and now his next opponent, which is seemingly Jacob Fatu at Backlash?
Yeah, I think this was the right call to make. I think we all kind of went into it thinking that this was going to be, the coronation of Roman Reigns, especially since now that it seems like he's going to be a quote unquote full-time guy again. So.
Whatever that means for Roman Reigns.
Whatever that means for Roman Reigns. So if Roman's going to be around all summer like he says he is, and give him the belt, let him be that tribal chief, kind of head of the bloodline guy for these next 6 months, and let's ride this out. So, I think that was the right call to make. And just to dovetail on Nick's point, and I think Mark will probably bring this up when he talks about this match. Punk came into this match, as a champion. His wife came into the weekend as a champion. I think for him, that was probably a win as it is, right? Just coming into the weekend with the belt, main eventing WrestleMania. You get the pre-match promo sitting on top of Allegiant Stadium, right? Like you get like all the fanfare that comes with being the champion in the main event of WrestleMania. I think Punk, if you hooked the Punk up to a lie detector today, I think he's 100% fine with the way that the way things went down, because I think he finally got his major WrestleMania moment, and to that point, even if he didn't win, it still bolstered him as one of the biggest stars in the company. So I think they did a fantastic job with the match, and kind of looking forward to seeing where this Bloodline 2.0 goes.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I'll say my thoughts in a little bit, but Mark, I want to get to your thoughts first. Roman Reigns winning the title, and of course facing Jacob Fatu at Backlash.
Yeah, I'll start with my guy first. Obviously, everybody, if you've heard me on here before, everybody knows I'm a Punk mark. And Piccone mentioned all the people he was happy for. I'm happy for me. I'll be honest. As someone who spent 2014 to 2021 fantasy booking CM Punk returns and who he'd work with and fantasy matches and who the WrestleMania stories he got to tell. Would he ever get to the main
Did you book CM Punk versus Aleister Black at WrestleMania one year or something? Like
sure.
What was some of the matches?
I'm sure that if we ran through the end of that, the Vince era in the late teens, I'm sure that there were some Braun Strowmans thrown out there. I'm sure there were some crazy names that I fantasy booked. But pretty much any time they were going to Chicago in a 3-month span, the rumors would pop up. But even me, as someone who thought that CM Punk was such a missing piece of the business for those years, I don't think me or any other Punk fan out there could have expected the return to be this fulfilling. As I mean, for Punk, I'm sure, but as a fan of Punk, I mean, for him to get the main event last year, but obviously the AEW neckbeard nerds are able to throw out his MJF quote about night one of a 9-night extravaganza or whatever that was. So
That's still
now
good.
you can't take this away from him. You can't take night 2 away from him. And he, not only did he main event main event night 2 of WrestleMania. I mean, he's got, not that Dave Meltzer's the end all be all, and Punk would tell you that himself. He's got Dave Meltzer saying it was one of the best matches in the history of WrestleMania. Someone who's covered,
Wow.
all 42 years of them. It very much felt like CM Punk went into that match like, I've been begging people to give me this spot for 20 years or however long it's been, and I'm going to make them feel stupid for not giving it to me sooner. And it really was one of the best performances of his career, one of the best matches of his career, one of the best matches of Roman's career. And you can tell by the way Roman's tweeting about the match and putting up Instagrams and stuff. I think there's probably a part of Roman deep down that's more proud of that match than he was of the Cody matches, because there's obviously some, I think, real life vitriol there, or at least resentment there between Roman and Cody.
Well, he did lose that match too. He like, yay, I lost.
Yeah. And even if you want to say 39, like 39 was always building to something else. So I think if you got Roman Reigns on some truth serum and asked him what his favorite Mania match is, I think there's a chance in a couple of years he'll say this one. I think it was that special. And then moving on to the Roman part of it, I think that there's a lot of ways it would have felt like, we tried for 2 years to move on from Roman and it didn't work, and we have to give it back to him. And I know that that's what Roman's saying. That's the story he's telling on pods and things like that. But because it was Punk, because of the importance of that match and the feud and the way they built it up, it didn't just feel like, what do we do? Let's just give the belt back to Reigns. It felt like a story worth telling. And moving forward, coming out of Mania, I was actually saying, like, man, any potential challenger for Roman is someone you really don't want to see lose right now. Like, you put Oba with him right away. Like, Roman's probably winning for the next couple months and keeping this belt at least through SummerSlam, if not longer than that. So it felt like all the names that you could see him with, Seth and Braun are already paired off. Gunther losing to Roman, I think might hurt the aura there of Gunther. You just did the Punk thing. Randy and Cody are probably paired off. So it's a situation of they didn't have a lot of options, I think. They didn't have a lot of options, I think, to challenge him that could take a loss. I think the Roman Jacob thing's the perfect pair. And Jacob, I think, can take the loss and probably will just join Roman after losing. So, and I'm sure that might be a stipulation if they have that feud. But I think Jacob is the perfect person to put him with.
I think that, for one, the main event between CM Punk and Roman Reigns was a great match. It's the best match between both nights. It was cool to see CM Punk finally get that spot that he had been essentially begging for a long time. And he got the most out of it with the entrance. He had the AFI song, all the video of his, career before WWE when he was in Ring of Honor and the Independence and all that. And the match itself delivered. So kudos to both of them for putting on a banger of a match. Now we fast forward to Monday with the whole Jacob Fatu thing and the Bloodline thing. My only problem is that there's no explanation for anything. Like, there's nothing earned. It just happens. Like, I know the Usos and the Roman Reigns have been interacting over the last couple months anyway, so you've sort of been building to this, but it just felt like there's still no resistance from, like, even specifically Jey Uso, who is definitely the more vocal of the two, the more of the emotional one, the hothead of the two, and was the biggest, probably more the rebellious one of the two when they were both in the Bloodline. So it's like he says nothing. He's just like, all right, well, fine. Put the ones up again. I don't want to be world champ right now, even though I was world champ last year. Like, he wouldn't want to be back in that spot. So that, to me, there needs to be more there. And also for Jacob, okay, Jacob Fatu, he wants with everything that Roman Reigns has. But Cody's got a title too. He's on SmackDown with you. So why come over to Raw and fight your cousin? I need more of an explanation besides, I want what you got, I want your money, I want, everything you have. That makes sense. He can say that to Cody Rhodes too, though. Instead, he said it to Roman Reigns. So I'm not mad at the match. I'm sure the match is going to be spectacular. I'm sure the story is probably going to be good too. Maybe. So far, so good. But like, I just feel like they're just skipping over stuff just to get to it. Just to like, all right, well, whatever. Nobody's going to care. So just do it.
On the post show, they had Jacob cut a promo, kind of talking about how he was sitting in the stands at WrestleMania 40 in Philly as a fan, watching, everything go on with his family and all that stuff. It was a far better promo than what we got last night. They need to kind of let Jacob cook, I think, in the way that they did a little bit and some of that Cody stuff, and talk about how he was the last one to get into WWE and he had to watch all these guys all these years and now it's his time. And I think there is a lot they can do with it, but I agree that they didn't go there yet.
Yeah, he's got to get the catchphrases in. He got to get yada na mean. So you got to get that in. You got to do it. It's like got to say the catchphrase instead of like speaking from his truth, speaking from the heart. Like what you just described to me sounded great, especially coming from Jacob Fatu, because it's real. It's his story. Like it's not like he's making it up. Let him just do that instead of doing catchphrases every week. The catchphrases make him, to me, this is just me. It just takes away the aura for me, honestly. Now he's just saying catchphrases. A dude like him from the streets, they ain't saying catchphrases. It's gonna beat you up. Like, you don't get no slogan you say every time. But yeah, that's just my opinion on that. I don't love how they got there, but I'm looking forward to what's gonna happen because I think the match is gonna be great, and we'll see what happens from there. Let's talk about the night one main event, which was one of the most confusing matches I've ever watched in my life. I still don't know what the hell happened in that match, and we're talking about this multiple days later. Because we had Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes clearly the babyface. Randy Orton clearly the heel. At least he's supposed to be, but the fans keep cheering him. And yet in the match, Randy's working with an injury storyline, as far as we know. And he gets busted open by Cody. And Cody's beating the daylights out of Randy Orton the whole match, basically. Like he's a heel. So I'm like, well, maybe Cody's turning heel. No. Apparently not. Randy Orton, is he not turning face? He hit the RKO on Pat McAfee. Why? Is he turning face? No. He punts Cody Rhodes. Who, mind you, Cody Rhodes couldn't possibly turn heel because he just hugged his wife and his kid before the match. Come on, bro.
And then
you can't be
a
heel after that.
He teared up.
Right, you can't be a heel after that. So it was very weird. But Nick, I'll start with you. What was your thoughts about the night one main event? Because to me, it was just all over the place storytelling wise. And it's unfortunate because both guys worked hard. They bled everywhere. And I still don't know what the hell happened.
I totally forgot before you mentioned it that it happened. Because fucking Roman was so good. I'm like, yeah, let me end this WrestleMania weekend on a high note. And then even Cody coming out last night, that eye looking gnarly, and then kind of planting a seed for an eventual match with Punk. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that unfolds down the road. But yeah, I mean, like ever since Pat McAfee came in, I mean, I wasn't really feeling Cody and Randy as a WrestleMania match to begin with, but once Randy won the Elimination Chamber, I was kind of like, okay, like they have a story at least, and they did not hit on it at all. So I'm just glad it's over, man. Like I'm like Orton, like at the end of that match, it felt like, okay, this isn't over, unfortunately. But there were rumors going into that match that Orton was banged up, and I don't know, like he wasn't on Raw, and I know he's like a SmackDown guy anyway, but so I don't know like if he'll really be around to kind of continue this with Cody. So I'm kind of hoping we're past it. I don't know if we're gonna get a rematch at Backlash or down the road, but I'm kind of hoping it's over, honestly, because even the match didn't really hit anything for me. It's like, okay, yay, we have blood, but that doesn't make things special all the time. It's Jelly Roll obviously coming in. We knew that was going to happen. Pat McAfee getting stretchered out, and like we knew that was going to happen. So it's kind of like, okay, what next? And now just kind of, I'm more or less hoping we don't, like, I'm going into SmackDown Friday, hoping we don't even get like a tease of anything like that moving forward.
Roy, how about you?
Yeah, so I think we all came into this match with a little foul taste in our mouth with that whole, the Pat McAfee thing, which it kind of
That's a good way to describe it.
coming into it.
Penguins
right?
fan, Pat McAfee, by the way.
Yeah,
His worst
exactly.
quality.
So, but the thing was, right? So, like, Pat comes out, and then Jelly Roll, takes him out like before the match starts. So I'm like,
Oh yeah,
all right,
can't forget that.
No, but I'm saying
Jelly
but
Roll's
keep
like,
the
go get him,
nonsense out the
Cody.
way. Yeah, go get him, Cody. Go get him. So it's like, all right, like we got the nonsense. Like everybody hated that part, that aspect of the story. We got all the nonsense out of the way before the match. These two guys will have a clean wrestling match for the next 20 minutes, and everything will be fine. Of course not. Like you broke it down, Vaughn. Like the turn and the not turn, and then you accidentally RKO the referee, but you RKO Pat McAfee on purpose, and whatever. No one knows either way. No one knows why either way.
He also looked at that referee and didn't hit the RKO. He looked dead at him. It's like, it's you.
He's like,
RKO.
I'm just making sure your position, champ. Let's go.
Yeah, it's like,
Boom.
oh my god, like I don't understand. None of this made any sense to me. I am curious as far as where this goes because Nick said I don't think Cody Orton needs another match at this point. Like not now. I mean, I think this story's been told for now. Orton can do his thing, but I don't know where Cody goes after this. Like I don't think he would waste Cody versus Punk at Backlash. I mean, I think that's a SummerSlam match. So you put that on the back burner. So, what does Cody do? I guess as the head of SmackDown, like who's next on the I guess we'll find out this week, but who's next on the SmackDown card for Cody to dance with these next couple of months? Because I don't think it's Punk. So I'm kind of curious to see where this goes.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if it was Jacob Fatu, but he's gone now.
Right.
So
right.
That would have been interesting. That would have been some carryover from stuff they've been doing up until
From before.
WrestleMania. So
right, yeah, that stuff when when you called Jacob, he's like you're a bum. Remember they had that interview
Yeah.
face to face, and you're like you're a bum, and like you basically need to be back on the street. You're a criminal. I was like, all right, well you can kind of build on that stuff again. You run that back, but nah, I guess not.
yeah, I don't get it. But Mark, how are you feeling about this whole fiasco?
I was more positive on the actual match on Saturday and what they did with the match. I was more negative than anybody on the build-up. But to be honest, the thing that, and I talked about this on my show with Roy and Nick on Saturday, I with the thing I was most mad about was that I thought all of this stuff telegraphed that Randy was definitely winning the belt on Saturday because I thought, McAfee had that stuff where he's out of the wrestling business forever if they lose, and I thought there was no way that WWE was in on that. To be honest, Cody winning and the whole mayhem, did it make sense at the end? No, but it surprised me, and it at least it kind of broke the monotony of night one to me a little bit, where I knew what was going to happen. It felt like every single match, and that match more than any, it felt like I thought there's no way Cody's retaining. Randy's obviously winning the belt. So them going another way, did it make sense? Probably not. But it surprised me and kept me on my toes, which is sometimes the least of, it's the bare minimum sometimes of what I'm asking. And it's all about expectations. I went into that match with expectations based on the build being the worst in WrestleMania, recent history, I'd say. And kind of being annoyed that we were getting what was going to feel like a toothless heel Randy championship reign. And so the fact that we kind of wiggled our way out of that, I don't want to give Triple H, or I guess I should say TKO and WWE, any extra credit for booking themselves out of a corner, I guess I should say. But it does feel like they did pretty well to get themselves out of a terrible situation, in my opinion. But was it, did it live up to being a WrestleMania main event or anything like that? No, it felt like a pretty normal pay-per-view, I would say, overall, in terms of the whole night one and then the main event especially. But I think I hated the actual outcome and match less than most people. But the build, I think the build was so bad that I'm willing to hear people say, they hated it and they hated everything about it.
I'm with you with the outcome. I was pleasantly surprised with that. I was like, oh, thank God Randy's not winning. Because I couldn't talk myself into being excited for a Randy Orton 15th world title reign, seeing how it unfolded, like especially with Pat McAfee involved. So that part, I was like, oh, thank God. It was like a relief when that hand hit 3.
I was shocked. I was like, "Wait, really? Like that's it?" Like I was stunned, to be honest. But when
would get another ref coming out, and be like, "No, his foot was on the rope." None of that crap.
Oh,
So I guess that Stephanie McMahon pep talk all worked out in the end.
I
guess so.
Slap, Roy.
I guess so. Bring the evil side out.
She was his Ace Steel in AEW when Punk
my God.
got beat down by Moxley and had to have Ace Steel come out and talk some sense into him.
Is Pharaoh going to come out and bite somebody in the arm then?
It is absolutely crazy how badly they bungled it, but it'll something that came to my mind, and it reminds me a little bit of kind of John Cena in the Mania 22, 23 era. It felt like when in that era where we were first getting Cena pushback as a babyface from the fans, they kept putting him with Kurt Angle and Triple H and Shawn Michaels and these established guys who the fans, even if they're heels, love and have had in their lives for 10 to 15 years. And it's like, oh, I'm supposed to just root for this white meat babyface against these guys who I've loved forever. And that happened where he has it's 7-month feud with John Cena, where you have people who are just not going to root against John Cena. It doesn't matter if he punts a baby into the third row. And then you have Randy Orton, who's supposed to be, a vicious heel, but everybody's going to sing voices as he's walking out to the entrance. They need to do Cody Gunther. Put Cody with a guy who nobody's going to cheer. Put him with someone who will actually get heel heat, and that might get some of the kind of the white meat babyface buzz back for Cody if they do want to keep him selling merch to kids and doing the thing where they don't turn him at all. Start putting him with real heels who don't have 15 years of experience with the fans, or plus that to kind of counteract that. It feels like an own goal a little bit if they are trying to keep him babyface.
You bring up a good point about like how they match up Cody and Cena with established people who people didn't want to cheer, didn't want to boo, didn't want to root against for this new guy who's kind of corny in some ways. I said it, I think on last week's show, but I'm pretty sure I said it before that. But I think the last 2 WrestleManias have really illuminated this for me. I don't think WWE has booked Cody all that well outside of like him winning matches.
No. Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, if he's QB1 and like, yeah, dude, put him on a pedestal. He has on podcasts. He's on TV all the time with the mic in his hand. He gets all the perks of the champion except for like the little things. It's like y'all can do better with this booking. And I don't think that helps the fans react to him neither. He's not involved in super compelling stuff. After the Roman Reigns stuff at WrestleMania 40, what's the best Cody feud since?
Oh, he's been booked horribly since that. It's by the way, it's easily Kevin Owens.
Yes, I'll give you that.
The best one is by far Kevin Owens, but even that one was pretty flawed, I'd say. They didn't let Kevin ever actually win a match in it, even though it went.
He never won a title. Yeah, that was annoying.
Yeah, he had to steal it. He had to steal the belt. And so, they've done an absolutely horrific job with Cody since the moment he won the belt in Philly at WrestleMania. And it's a shame. And you just think about like how many feuds it feels like they've teased with Cody or that we just haven't gotten to. Like, how has Cody been the champion for the better part of 2 years and we haven't gotten Cody Gunther? We haven't gotten Cody Punk. We just got Cody Randy for the first time and they messed it up beyond belief. We haven't gotten Cody. There's plenty of names I could throw out there that it feels like, no, we're going to do. They did like 4 months of AJ Styles, it felt like, and then 4 months of Kevin Owens and 7 months of John Cena and whatever.
They put him in the main event of SummerSlam, Solo Sikoa.
They did do that.
Brutal.
They did do that.
Absolutely.
They did do that.
It's a mess. And then the Drew feud was not well done or well booked in any way. Everybody came out of that weaker, I'd say. So yeah, they've done a horrible job.
Yeah, it's been rough to watch. But shifting gears, as much nonsense we can give WWE for certain parts of the product, I can't give them any red marks for how they booked or how they have booked to this point Obafemi. I was worried. They did everything right up until WrestleMania. I'm like, man, the only thing they can do is have him lose. But you got him, have him win. That's the only outcome that can happen from this match between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. And they did it, and he did it in an emphatic fashion. And then he got the promo the next night where he said, the ruler has arrived. I'm like, yep, they did it right. Good job, WWE. You got this one right. You got this one right. To me, next step, World Championship. He beats Roman Reigns at SummerSlam.
Wow.
Where else do you go? You give him the IC title?
Hey, Roman said he'll be around in the summer. He didn't say the fall. So.
you give him the IC title? Nah. And you know me, I'm usually a proponent of like, have people go through the stepping stones and win the US title first, like Trick Williams. I'm cool with that. But with Oba, we're past that. World Championship, please. He beats Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. I don't care. Make it happen.
Yeah.
What else do you do?
I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I mean, let him win King of the Ring. Let him be King Oba for a little bit.
King Oba.
And then
an African king.
That strut with the crown on. Let's go.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
That gets him a title shot at SummerSlam. He beats Roman. He gets the title. Roman goes off to do press for Street Fighter. That's a win-win. I dig it.
Yeah, he gets to do press for Street Fighter, raise his babies, the whole nine. So, any other thoughts on Obafemi, Nick? If you have any other thoughts on Obafemi winning, and also can't forget Brock Lesnar taking off his gloves and leaving his boots in the ring to apparently retire, even though there was some, I think, ambiguity at first, but it seemed like, and Paul Heyman even said he's done. So we'll see how long that lasts. Could be a Terry Funk retirement. But again, Brock Lesnar done apparently. So again, Nick, I send it back to you.
Yeah, for Oba, I said before on the roundtable and other episodes of the Straight Shooters, need a squash, like just squash Brock, boom. I actually like how they went about it because once Brock started getting offense in, I was like, oh man, come on. Like I just wanted to see a squash, but it really, the story was Oba took everything Brock had and got back up and beat him straight up. So I like
the
that.
F5 and just kind of staggered to his feet again.
Yep. So like I bought into it. I bought into what they were selling. Maybe I'm, easy like that, but listen, it worked for me because the more I thought about it, I was like, I guess it's more impressive seeing him, take what Brock had and then just come back and beat Brock 1, 2, 3. I like that Brock didn't kick out of the first, fall from grace. That it was only one and done. So
one and done, baby.
I like that. I love it. And as far as Brock, like I kind of surprised me a little bit, but where does that leave Gunther with the favor with Paul Heyman? So I do wonder if that's still the end game for Brock. Plus SummerSlam being in Minnesota and stuff, everyone assumes that they'll be Brock's last stand. So we'll see about that. But I have a feeling that maybe Gunther finagles his way in there for one last match.
Maybe. We'll see. Roy, how you feeling about Obafemi becoming the new beast, essentially?
Sixers are going to win, by the way. How about that?
Yeah, by 14, it looks like. A good amount of points. Look at that. Double-digit win after getting spanked.
Joel, how's that appendix feeling, buddy?
Get it ready. Roy, how you feeling about Obafemi beating Brock Lesnar?
I got to cop some pleas. I was telling Nick and Mark I didn't think it was going to happen. I was used to the 50-50 kind of booking that we see out of WWE, and Oba was getting the best of Brock and all those promos and all the stuff leading up to the match. So I was very skeptical of Oba getting the win on night 2. But like you said, like they got it done. I mean, like he came in, ate the F5. 8 those 3 German suplexes. You're like, all right, like good. Even you got the crowd kind of groaning a little bit after that third one. Like, oh man, like here we go again.
Here we go.
So quality booking out of Paul Heyman, whoever produced that match. But no, I mean this is the right move. I mean Obafemi, Like put the biggest of rockets on that man and just shoot him to the moon. I mean, this like you have a couple of like between Oba and Trick, like you have a couple of stars that like I don't think anybody can fumble as far as booking and putting those guys in the main event within the next couple of years. So when you have a guy a guy who looks the part, who can talk the game like Oba can, you got to put the rocket on and let it let him go. So yeah, if he's not a champion within the next 12 months, then you gotta fire some people up in Stanford, because that's inexcusable.
Yeah, the time is maybe not be right now, but it's soon.
Soon. Yeah.
Let's get to it. Let's not waste time. They need to build the next big thing, to steal a phrase, where Cody's been around for a while now, even though he's, came back in 2022, but that's 5 years ago now almost. And he's had a bunch of matches, and they're not getting younger. Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. They need the next group of people. CM Punk, the next group of main eventers. And Obafemi is right there. Make it happen.
Yeah.
Mark, how are you feeling about this?
I'm sorry. You had Cena retire. You had Styles retire.
Yes.
And you have Lesnar.
Brock is retiring.
Lesnar either about to retire or retired. I'm sure Rey Mysterio's right around the corner. I mean, like, you got to build the next. Got to build the next generation of guys. He's clearly the top of that list.
Yeah. No brainer. No doubt about it. You couldn't miss. It's like drafting Andrew Luck or Peyton Manning. Like, good job. You got the best player prospect ever. Good job, Bill Polian, for drafting Peyton Manning. Woohoo! You did it. You got him. All right. Mark, how are you feeling about this?
I couldn't be higher on Obafemi, and everybody's going to, you guys rightfully talked about all the great stuff with the match. Brock, people forget because of the incidents that Brock does have where he doesn't want to do business, that when Brock does want to do business, he does it better than anybody. I mean, when he wants to put someone over, I think back to like Drew McIntyre when he really put him over at the Rumble, and then again at Mania in 2020. And it felt the same way with Oba, where it really felt like Brock fully believes in Oba as kind of the next big thing, like you guys said. And everybody's going to talk about the match, and there was everything. The match was amazing. I want to talk about the promo Oba cut on the Raw before Mania. I think putting CM Punk aside, and again, I'm a mark for Punk, and I think if you put CM Punk aside, I don't know if I've heard a better television wrestling promo in the last calendar year than Obafemi cut days before WrestleMania on Raw to Paul Heyman, where he kind of ended it being like, I'm the one, I've always been the one. I know he's got the ruler, but the one Obafemi is that could go pretty hard too.
No, we can't do that. We got the one Billy Gunn.
Sorry to Billy Gunn. But I did like how he was saying, I'm the one, I've always been the one. And I was just, and again, everything's based on expectations, but they've barely let him grab the mic for longer than a couple seconds at a time. So when he grabbed it, I thought it was just going to be a quick in and out thing, or Brock would show up, and they let him go for like 4 minutes, and he has it. It's not like this is a guy who they have to protect and put him in feuds where he doesn't have to talk or just be like the scary monster man who comes out and smashes people. I think there's a lot more to it. I think this guy is special, and I think that for all, like you said, for everything we can complain about with Triple H's booking, with WWE in general, over the last however long you want to make the time period, I don't know how they could have done a better job with Obafemi than what they've done so far.
Yeah, just simple, easy, set it and forget it, and count the money once it starts coming in, because it's coming in when it comes to Obafemi.
You guys are saying have him beat Roman at SummerSlam. Have him beat Cody at Backlash in 3 weeks for all I care. Like, get a belt on him immediately. Like
moving over to SmackDown and have him beat Cody.
Do the SummerSlam 2014. If he's Brock now, do the SummerSlam 2014 Brock Cena match where he just beats the hell out of Cody. I know him and Cody just wrestled a couple months ago, and it was a non-finish at the end, but tell the story that he's even better than he was when he first got to the WWE a couple months ago, and just have him smash Cody. Cody wouldn't get anything from it.
Hey, let's do it. Yeah, I don't hate it neither. Why not? All right, moving on. Shifting gears from Obafemi, let's go to the women. We got two new women's world champions. We got a new women's world champion on Raw. That is Liv Morgan, and we have Rhea Ripley winning the WWE Women's Championship. Let's start with Liv Morgan, and the fact that Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan did not get, I should say, all that much time at WrestleMania. I know we're going to talk about this more later, but that's really, for me, the big takeaway from that particular match is that they could have done so much more, but just wasn't given the chance to, unfortunately. And I was looking forward to that. I thought this feud was doing really well. I like the way Liv Morgan, even though the knot in her head and the black eyes were not intentional, but I think it added to the story and how like crazy this rivalry has been. Liv Morgan wearing the rivalry on her face, basically. And yet we just got just a pretty basic TV type of match, or like a no mercy type of match. It didn't feel like a WrestleMania worthy match. And I will put that not on the talent as much as I'll put that on WWE for just not giving the talent enough time to shine, in my opinion. Mark, I'll start with you. How did you feel about Liv Morgan and Stephanie Vaquer? And also flip it forward to Liv Morgan going against Sol Ruka. I said I'm gonna say Solo Sikoa. Sol Ruka. So Monday night.
I can't lie. I talked earlier about how going back to Roman could have felt like, man, everything we've tried the last 2 years hasn't worked, and we're going right back to it. What is the Liv Morgan character development over the last 18 months? Has she changed one iota as a character? I don't know why I'm supposed to care more about Liv Morgan today than I have for the last 2 years, three, whatever you want to say. I'm kind of bored of it at this point, in terms of in the Judgment Day with Dom, the tweener heel that people cheer because she has charisma, and we clearly like her at this point. But it's just I'm over it. I kind of feel like there's really no reason that she had to beat Stephanie Vaquer, who we're trying to build as one of the top faces going forward of the division. I don't know what was gained by anything in this feud, this match. I really don't get it. I don't get the push for Liv winning the Rumble and then also getting to win the world title. And I didn't like anything about it. I'll be honest. This was probably one of my least favorite matches of the weekend. And also, like you said, it got a minute and a half, it felt like.
Roy, how about you?
Before I get started, Vaughn, I gotta ask, is this a safe space?
Yes, it is. What's about to happen here?
I just need to make a point. That Liv Morgan song, I kind of like it.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong. This is a safe space, brother. You're allowed to like it.
I'm gonna have to edit that out.
You're in trouble.
That's me, Mark. That's me.
I think I said last week there is an audience for that type of song. It's not like that song is just never been heard of before. I went to college.
It's a 90s type of Britney Spears bubblegum poppy song,
pop song.
If you grew up in the 90s, you heard that song on TRL 37 times a day.
Right, even into the 2000s.
Yeah,
I can't lie. My wife I've talked about it on here before. I think I've gotten my wife more into wrestling than I have Philadelphia sports teams. So she loves the women's division. She gets into the women's matches. She was downright confused and dumbfounded by that Liv Morgan performance. She was we're trying to push her as a pop star. I think a minute or two in, she's like, if this is the song, she can't sing. They wouldn't have went with this first if she could sing. So yeah. But I argued for WWE back to her. I said there is something about Liv Morgan that she has an aura and a magnetism to her that right. I do understand WWE being this is someone who's a mainstream star. So whatever. I thought the performance was bizarre, but I do understand wanting to make her a star because I think she has something to her that a star quality.
Right, but to that point, I told you, I talked to you and Mark, Nick about this last week. I think you can tell the Liv Morgan story without the belt, right? The Liv Morgan story doesn't need the title. The dissension between, or possible dissension, teased dissension between her and Roxanne and her her and Raquel in Judgment Day. I mean, I think you could tell that story without the title. Meanwhile, you can keep building Stephanie Vaquer up, as the champion. You're trying to build champions. I mean, you're trying to build new faces that we haven't seen, and you have a pretty good one in Stephanie Vaquer. And then you just take the title off for her to give this to Liv Morgan so she can fight Sol Ruka. Like, it doesn't really make sense to me. Like, again, like you can Stephanie Vaquer can fight Sol Ruka. Like, that's fine. Like, there's no problem with that. But maybe to Mark's point, maybe they just see something so magnetic and Liv that she has to have the belt and has to be at the top of the card. But I think she's so magnetic that she doesn't need the belt. So I think they're kind of they're kind of cutting off their nose to spite their face.
To your point, Roy, we talked about like the need to build new stars in the next generation, and yet WWE in the women's division, they gave Stephanie Vaquer and Jade Cargill the titles and did largely nothing with them when they had the titles, and then just beat them at WrestleMania. So that felt weird. I know some people want to blame TKO and Ari Emanuel for every booking decision that's bad, but not every booking decision comes from Ari Emanuel. Like, it can't be the case. So to me, I don't know what kind of direction they were trying to go into. I even saw an interview with Jade Cargill where she was like, "Yeah, I wish I'd have did more during my title run. I wanted to wrestle more." It's like, why didn't y'all have her do it? She needs the reps anyway. It's not like she's like, she needs the reps. It's not like she's super experienced and needs the time off. She needs to be in the ring doing stuff. She wants to be active. And yet y'all didn't do it. I don't understand. And then just have them lose uneventfully at WrestleMania for the most part. Strange stuff. But Nick, how are you feeling about Liv Morgan winning back the women's world title?
Yeah, I told I think on the round table and then Mark and Roy that Liv and Steph was probably the match I was looking forward to the most this weekend. So didn't really deliver in that aspect. And I know there are rumors floating around that, their time got cut because both were banged up and they didn't want them out there longer than they had to be. And it's like, okay, well then just scrap the match then. I don't know. I know that they're not going to do that, but I was fine with the winner. I think Liv, I buy into the Judgment Day turmoil happening while they have a world champion. So Liv and Raquel and Roxanne Perez, I think, are that world title is going to be the demise of those three. So I think Roxanne actually comes out of that as the women's world heavyweight, not heavyweight. They don't have heavyweight in the name, but the women's world champ eventually. I don't know if that's at SummerSlam or later this year, maybe even next year. But that's what I think they're doing, and I'm kind of here for that story, which is why I'm fine with Liv being the champion. I do think once Liv loses that title, that maybe they'll have her doing like the Becky Lynch where she's in the IC title or US title, kind of elevate that a little bit. But yeah, I agree with Roy in that I don't think Liv needs a title at this point. I think she's kind of like cemented herself, but I do think her getting injured and Steph, getting the title because of that kind of put a dent into what they were planning to do with Liv in the Judgment Day. So I think they're just kind of going back to that, and then they're going to, kind of go back to the drawing board with Steph Vaquer, or maybe not the drawing board per se. Maybe she goes to SmackDown. Maybe she goes for the IC title. Maybe they do her and Becky. I can see that happening in the future, and I would be here for that as well. So I'm not totally down on Steph and what they're doing with her, but they got to make it worthwhile for both Liv and Steph if they were going to do what they did at WrestleMania.
Hey, if this leads to Roxanne getting the briefcase and turning on Liv that way, then it's worth it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
Which I could easily see happening. That makes perfect sense. And the only way you really accomplish that is to put the title back on Liv Morgan. So there's that. Also, putting the title back on Rhea Ripley works, right? She's headed over to SmackDown. She had a tearful goodbye with Io Sky. But like I said earlier, just another match on the card. Nothing really eventful. I mean, we did get some interference. We got to see Io Sky. But, like, just over and done with. And we'll see what happens next.
What if she just refused to go to SmackDown? Would they just strip her of the title then? She's like, no, I'm staying here with my friend. What would happen?
My homie Io.
I want to know.
My favorite segment of the weekend was not the main event of WrestleMania. It wasn't Gunther Seth. It wasn't Oba on Raw. It was Io and Rhea maybe saying goodbye to each other on Raw because that means that I won't have to sit through another 8 months of Rio against Asuka and Kairi Sane.
For the second time. Remember they had that segment like when like a similar segment like was it 3 weeks ago? Whenever when
Yep.
they
It felt
first
like
broke
it.
up.
Yep.
Yeah. They had,
Eh.
I'm like now they're really broken up this time. Like okay, I guess.
Who is asking for these Rio segments? Like who is loving this tag team, this pair? They
are heartwarming. It is inspiring. They are
yes.
the tag team of a generation. It is Rhea Ripley, and Io Sky. Damn it! Put some respect on their names.
They have devalued both of them so much to me. It feels like Rhea just doesn't feel like the star she felt like 2 years ago, and maybe that's exposure. I was looking through it. She, besides the 3 months she missed after getting hurt in Philly on the Sixer wall by Liv Morgan, that's the only time off. That's the only time off she's taken since she was in NXT, in 2019, basically. Like it really does feel like Rhea, to me, feels like maybe the most overexposed person on the roster. And I love Rhea. I'm someone who complains when she's not in the main event and complains, that she was in the back burner for far too long. But the reason that I think they kind of had to do that is because she never takes a break and leaves and comes back hot, it feels like. She's just always around, and props to her for that. There's something to be said for that 100%. But there was some stuff out there that she has an eating disorder going on, that she lost like 40 pounds, people think. That she lost a ton of weight, and you could tell. I thought it might be a good time for her to get some time off. You give Jade a big win, where she kind of gets to move forward, and Rhea, we finally get a little time off from her. But Rhea's just back on top in the main event, so I don't know. What do I know?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Roy, any thoughts on Rhea Ripley winning the WWE Women's Championship?
I will say this is probably Jade's best main roster match on WWE.
Definitely.
She pulled off some good stuff. We saw the one winged angel and all that stuff. Again, I just think that the title run, and we talked about it before, but again, Jade's title run just indicative of pretty much all the title runs, since WrestleMania 42, if we're being honest, men's and women's, main title, secondary title, whatever you want to call it, even the tag team titles. I mean, they don't give a damn about those titles, but it seems
totally
like
forgot they had them.
If you look back at the title runs, for the most part, they don't seem like they have any logical ends, 80% of the time. I mean, I know, the Seth Rollins injury kind of threw some things out of whack or with things like that, but it just doesn't seem like, Tiffany Stratton, Jade Cargill. I mean, we can kind of go down the list. It doesn't seem like they have, I don't know, maybe they just, they put a clock on somebody and say, hey, you know what, you have to get to a certain point in the next 3 or 4 months. If you don't, then the belt's off you. Maybe that's the thought, but it just doesn't seem like there's any logical, turns when it comes to these title runs. It's like, all right, let's give somebody a test. Let's give Jade a test. Don't let her wrestle. Let her wrestle 4 times, and then there's somebody we want to put the belt on instead. Now that they're healthy and ready to go, let's put the belt back on Rhea Ripley. It just seems like a lot of these title holders have just kind of been placeholders. Like I said, Jade. I'm trying to think. Damian Priest. I mean, like some of these title runs is like, what are they really doing with these? Like, they're not trying to build. It doesn't seem like they're trying to build stars the way I would think they try to build stars in the now post Cena era.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, but we have new champions there. We also have new women's tag team champions. It is Brie Bella and Nick. No, it's Paige. What? Paige is here? Well, if you didn't watch before WrestleMania, the news did get out that she had signed a deal with WWE. So that wasn't necessarily a secret that she was in WWE.
That would have been a legit surprise, too, if that didn't break.
It would have, but it did. And it was reported that she would be teaming up with Brie Bella to compete in the 4-way tag team match at WrestleMania. They came out. Nikki Bella is on crutches, and she's like, I don't want to ruin this moment for my sister. So I found some help, and out comes Paige, who has, I forgot how good a WWE theme music is. Fire, and the fans went crazy, and they won. Paige won, is now tag team champions with Brie Bella, which is odd, but I think also could set up an easy story here where Nikki's like, well, I'm healthy now, so you can get out of here. And now you have a rivalry starting. So thoughts on Paige being back in WWE, and what's next for her with these tag titles? Nick, I'll go to you.
First I want to mention about the Jade and Rhea stuff that I thought Jade could have used that win. They just gave her a group too, right?
Yeah.
I thought maybe that would be the beginning of something, and maybe it will be, but I thought that would start with a win at WrestleMania. So I don't know if they'll continue the feud with Rhea after this, but hopefully we'll see like a rematch or something. Maybe Jade will win it back, by SummerSlam or maybe before that or something. But I was kind of surprised by that as well. But as far as Paige coming back, I like that. Like it's a WrestleMania moment, WrestleMania return, big pop, big moment, and I think it tells us a great story later down the road with somebody turning on each other and then having a feud, losing the women's tag titles to somebody. That's kind of what I'm thinking, long-term booking already for something like that. But it was a nice moment.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was good for Paige to get that spotlight again and win the tag titles. I know she's been through a lot in her career, so it's good to see her back at it and wrestling in the ring. Roy, how do you feel about Paige being back and this whole women's tag team title situation now?
Yeah, just to echo your point. I'm happy that Paige is back and healthy and can kind of go in the ring. I hope that this kind of leads them to focus more on this women's tag team division. I mean, you have some pretty good talent in this division. If you want to focus on it, obviously you have the Bella Twins or Bella Twins plus Paige, however you want to spin it. I guess the female New Day if you want. You got
or the new the Team Bella. Remember Team Bella back in the day with Alicia Fox?
Team Bella. There you go. Team Bella. You got Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. You got Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. You got Nia Jax, Last Legend. Like you got some talent. Like you can have them kind of fight each other. Go around and fight each other. Like round robin style. Like you had all those tag teams kind of fight on SmackDown, the men's tag teams, for like the better part of 2 or 3 months. So. Like they don't do a really good job of highlighting tag teams, but hopefully now with that kind of star power with the Bellas back at least part time and with Paige, maybe you can kind of focus on this for 6 months and kind of build everybody up in that division. So I'm hoping that's the direction they take it.
Probably not, given their history.
Probably not. Yeah.
Probably not. Mark, how you feeling about this?
I'm a little over like the mid 2010s, like women's revisionist history of what that era was. Like we've been in a much better era in the last decade. We don't need to we don't need to reminisce on an era before that, to be honest. And I'm someone who loves I love AJ Lee, but then the bell rang a little bit. I feel the same way about the Bellas and Paige. I'm kind of good on that era of the women. I'm good. Let's focus on the new era.
That's fair. It's definitely different era too. So that's the only problem is that they just wasn't training the women to be wrestlers when they were coming out. And it's unfortunate that we just lost a whole generation. Imagine how good Paige would have been, or how AJ Lee, how good they could have been if they actually got trained like the Charlotte Flairs and the Becky Lynches and the Baileys and Mercedes Moné and AEW and even Jade Cargill now. There's a whole miss out on the whole generation of that. But it's good to see Paige back, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next with those women's tag team titles. But what about the U.S. title, the men's U.S. title, not the women's one? They didn't use the women's one at all at WrestleMania. Not even on the night before, I don't think. Was it on SmackDown the night before?
They had a number one contender. They had a number one contender match. Yeah.
They changed it up. Yeah, that's right.
Is Julia the women's U.S. champ?
Julia has a title.
And everyone thought
Tiffany Stratton is going to face her, right?
Yeah, everybody thought they did that because Tiffany is on her way out, but she wound up pinning. What was it? Jordan Grace. And
yeah.
So that was
I don't know what
the hell is going on right now.
Yeah, what's the deal with Tiffany Stratton? She was just it felt like they was strapping a rocket to her just not that long ago. Now she's not even on the card at WrestleMania. What in the world? And it's not even like, I need to see Tiffany Stratton. It's just like, y'all did this. Y'all booked it.
Right, yeah.
Follow through on it.
Received this push to the moon, and then I don't know if she was legit hurt, but once she left TV for those few months and came back, she hasn't recaptured that.
Not at least they haven't really even used her that much. At least not in a prominent role. I don't know what's going on there. What the deal is. I feel like there's more to it than just we don't have nothing for you. It's something that's weird to me. because it seemed to be all about her a year ago, obviously. And now it's just like she's nowhere to be found a lot of times. Like, it's insane. But the men's world title, Trick Williams can be found easily. You just follow the long white train that's behind his white fur coat, and you can find him with the U.S. Championship. He beats Sami Zayn with a little bit of help from Lil Yachty, and he beats Sami Zayn to become the new United States champion. I thought that they would probably keep it on Sami so they can let him be more of a heel with Trick Williams, because Trick Williams is essentially a babyface at this point. I'm not sure Lil Yachty helps him to be a babyface, but he is a babyface. But they had him win. He got that moment. He got to hang out with his parents, and Sami Zayn is sitting in the corner sulking somewhere again. But again, another match that was really short too at the same time. I want to see Sami Zayn wrestle more. I'm sorry. I like seeing Sami Zayn wrestle. I didn't get enough of that at WrestleMania. Mark, how are you feeling about Trick Willie being the new U.S. champion?
Put the rocket on him. The guy has 1998 Rock aura. I mean, the way the crowd reacts to him, the way he gets on the mic, I feel like people talk about him like he's so green in the ring. I
no,
think
he's not.
fun in the ring.
He's actually pretty good still. Yeah.
I agree. I think he looks great. And I agree with you. I wish this would have went longer to give people kind of a glimpse that he can. I mean, we saw it with Melo in NXT title matches, and I've seen enough from Trick in the ring to justify everything else. The insane crowd connection at such an early stage, the insane aura he has on a microphone. I always go back to this one, but someone I know at Barstool hosts a show on Fox Sports 1, and they got to interview Lash Legend and Trick Williams together on the show. And this guy's not a big wrestling guy. He's like, those two are stars. He's like, they have something about them where when they're together, even more so, they are just superstars, and you felt it talking to them. And they were able to make everybody on the panel like them. And I've seen this with Trick going on these ESPN shows too. Like, he has, again, like not like Liv Morgan, way different, but like he has a magnetism to him that transcends just getting in the ring and cutting a promo about facing someone next Sunday. Like, he has the chance to be, in my opinion, a special mainstream star and someone that they should be planning building the whole company around.
Yeah, Trick Williams is pretty right there with Obafemi. I couldn't agree with you more. I think the thing with Trick Williams and Lash Legend too, I agree with it. They are great together. Just I heard that they're a couple and they have chemistry, but like super talented in their own right as well. But the thing with Trick Williams is that he's not like the normal wrestler who comes to the independents. He has a natural swag about him that only comes from how he went through life as a football player. He played in the SEC. Mm-hmm. So you playing at South Carolina, you better have some swag about you, because everybody else does. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's like a natural charisma he just has from his background, not only independence, just being a naturally charismatic person playing football in front of thousands of people. Yeah, I think independent wrestlers, you don't get to wrestle in front of thousands of people all the time. But when you're a football player playing in front of thousands of people, especially in the SEC, to some of the biggest stadiums in the country on the SEC, you might get a little comfortable being in front of large groups of people and performing. Even though wrestling is different, you don't have a helmet, you're out there by yourself. But he just like you said, he's just a natural. Then he's got the look down, and he's got the ability in the ring. Forget about it. Set it and forget it. Count the money, like I said before with Obafemi. Do the same with Trick Williams. Roy, I have a feeling you agree with me on this one.
Yeah, 100%. I think there was an interview this week, last week, I think, with The Miz. The Miz was talking about Trick Williams, and he was talking about Trick Williams' his interview style and the way he kind of engages with people. And he's like for a guy that basically that green, like it's amazing like how well he can kind of command, audiences, command interviewers, command interviews, when he's in those spots. Because like that kind of stuff, like you got to learn over years and years and years to be like that kind of charismatic and in front of crowds, in front of a microphone, and he's got it. I mean, he's got that, and obviously he's got the natural athletic ability. So yeah, like take Artemis, take that rocket that just went to the moon, put Trick on it, You put Oba on it, send that thing back up to the moon. Like these two guys, like these guys are almost these guys are like unfumbleable guys. Like it's almost impossible for you to mess these guys up. Like they're so talented, both in the ring, outside of the ring, on the mic, whatever. Like all aspects of this game. Like they're going to be unbelievable stars. And I don't think Trick's that old. I know Oba's relatively young. He's been 27, 28. Like these guys should be like main event stars for the next 10 or 15 years if you play this right. So so just to talk about the match, got a short match, but I don't think we needed a long match. Trick gets the belt, get him, he's a crowd favorite, get the belt on him. That'll give him some more juice with the crowd. We get Crash Out Sammy back again. Again, you can tell the Sammy story without the belt. So Crash Out Sammy without the belt, that's a story. Trick with the belt, that's a story. Again, this is a layup. Like there were a couple of layups, like that I think TKO and Hunter had this weekend. Oba Femi and Trick Williams, and they took the layups. Like sometimes you just take the easy basket, and Trick Williams winning that title was the easy basket for sure.
Now they missed out on one. They missed out on one easy basket, in my opinion. I think, especially after the bad publicity of night one, like it would have been so easy, in my opinion, for Triple H on night two, and he did 2/3 of it. Put Oba over, put Trick over, and put Javon over, and come out of this WrestleMania night two saying, "This is the future. Like we just had a transformative WrestleMania. This is This is the new generation part 2, whatever you want to say. Like, I think that they kind of blew a chance there to be like, these 3 young stars who we developed through our developmental system, NXT, are here and they're, the future. And not only are they young stars, it doesn't hurt that they're African-American stars. Like it's everything about it should have been an easy layup for Triple H and a company that has gotten nothing but bad faith and nothing but bad publicity recently. Not that they totally eradicated it and it doesn't ruin the Oba and Trick stuff, but I just think it would have been a perfect thing to do, to put Oba over, put Trick over, and put Javon over and say, here's the future. We're pumped about it.
Yeah.
I will say I'm not mad at Penta retaining because he just won it, but I hear you. I hear you about the Javon Evans aspect of that, because he's also another guy who's like, in my opinion, is a can't miss. But he didn't win the IC title, but he's got time. He's also got to face Rusev now, apparently. So that's the thing. He's going to beat Rusev. That's a big deal, right? I'll see him winning the title one day. Maybe he beats an Ethan Page after he wins it. We got some stuff in the pipeline for Javon Evans. I think he'll be all right. But I agree with you. I think this could have been the opportunity, but there'll be others. Hopefully,
he's the one I'm worried about. With if we're saying Trick, Oba, and Javon are the big 3 in terms of like young guys who we have hopes for, the one I'm worried about them messing up is definitely Javon.
I hear you on that. I think Javon is so young that you still got so much time with him, and he has time to develop. He might not be this guy in a year, so I think there's still more time to develop. Where, like you said, Oba Femi is like either around 30. I know Trick was over 30, so just more grown men than Javon Evans is at this point. He's still got some growing up to do, and it's not like a bad thing. It's just reality. He's like 22 or whatever it is. So, Nick, how you feeling about Trick Willie being the new U.S. champ?
Every time I see him, I just think about "Go Birds." He's like, that's my Philadelphia Eagle right there. And listen, he's earned everything he's gotten so far in NXT and the main roster, man. The way you talked about it, the way he just commands the audience, it's not easy to do. And just by like an entrance and just standing in the ring, he has it. He has it. And, again, I think you guys said just as much. I don't think they can ruin it at this point with Trick and Oba right now. Javon still out on Javon, but I should say what's the phrase? The court's still out, or something's still out.
The jury's
still out. Yeah, I knew it was a court reference. But yeah, so I'm like right move, and I think maybe the right opponent in Sami Zayn. I would have loved to see Trick and Carmelo, but that could also be a continue. It could be like the Gargano and Ciampa of NXT on the main roster with Trick and Carmelo, if they go back to that well and they have a feud with each other on the main roster, the way they were together in NXT and then feuded in NXT, I could totally see that in the future, and I would be here for that. I'm kind of hoping that's in the future, in the immediate future, but we'll see. If it's not, hopefully down the road. I think Trick and Carmelo would be an incredible feud for SmackDown. So, and I think it could carry like a main event, but I don't think they'll put them in the main event. Maybe on a SmackDown they will, but yeah, I think Trick, the sky's the limit for him, and Oba obviously, and I'm just excited to see what Trick does now. He's got the U.S. title. Now what?
Yeah, we'll see. Carmelo Hayes, another Sammy's match. We'll see. He did put out a diss song for Sammy, so they should have another match, right? Gingerbread Man. That was a good song.
I think Sammy should demand it, and then maybe by the end he'll be a full-fledged heel, but hopefully not the U.S. champion.
That's another thing, and I meant to hit on that. Trick being someone who can like every feud he's in is gonna have like a song now. That's such like an added
great.
It's such an added bonus, like on top of his main event package that just like other people can't, or other people just don't have. I can't. If I'm picking one guy between Trick or Obo, and I'm taking like the next 10 years, who I would like pick to have the brightest future, I'm saying Trick even over Obo. That's how high I am on Trick.
Trick with the music video with Lash dancing in the background, man, can't beat it. Can't beat it. Can't beat Trick at WrestleMania. He's 1-0 at WrestleMania, undefeated. Undertaker, watch out. Trick Williams is going to break the record. Just needs 18 more tries, whatever it is. 20. What is he, 21-0, something like that?
Yeah.
Holla at me in 2045 or whatever, 2046, when Trick Williams breaks the record. All right, let's move on to the kind of the rest of the show, which really, things happen. But the thing about the WrestleMania and the rest of the show is that there were a lot of complaints coming out of the show because there wasn't a lot of wrestling on this show, honestly. For WrestleMania, didn't have a lot of wrestling. There's only, a couple matches, maybe 2 or 3 matches that were over 10 minutes, it felt like. It didn't feel like very many.
And one of them was 10 minutes and 8 seconds.
Just barely over 10 minutes. Finn and Dom got 10 minutes and 27 seconds. But Trick and Sammy got 7 minutes? I don't understand. I guess you got to do you count the entrance in that? Like, come on, bro.
No entrance.
I don't understand.
Bell to bell.
Bell to bell.
Yeah.
Either way, it was a big pain point for wrestling fans because they want to watch wrestling. And it felt like WWE kind of, or I say WrestleMania was kind of hijacked by everything else but the wrestling. We had all the ads. Every match, it felt like, had a sponsor. I think every match had a sponsor, a different sponsor for each match. Of course, you got ads all over the ring. That's expected. Even ads in the turnbuckles with Capital One on the turnbuckles, right? Right? We got the Slim Jim tables. Okay. Then we got all the celebrities that's involved. Not the ones that are all also involved in the stories, like Pat McAfee and I Show Speed, who I thought did a good job. And he had the great spot with the table spot with Logan Paul. That was great. But, and of course, Jelly Roll, go get him, Cody. Go win it.
It was like that Bret Hart kid.
Right. It's like a cheesy action movie. I'll take care of him. Go get the man. Okay. But with all of that, then you got the celebrities they show at ringside all throughout the show, right? Then you got the commercials they play in between each match. Okay? That's like makes it pretty much like an intermission in between each match. You got like 10 minutes in between matches. Then you got the intros, the entrances, which also take 10 minutes. Randy Orton took his sweet ass time getting down to that ring. Just sauntered down to that ring. And then you got, like I said, all the celebrities they got to show every celebrity. Tyrese Halliburton got to be tired of wrestling at this point.
Yeah, bro.
Because he was at every damn
show. Does he have a job? Like, what's he doing, man? Like, go to work, bro. Like, go to work.
Poor brother. I know he got the Achilles and he got the shingles too. Like, that's rough. I guess he needed a weekend away to enjoy some wrestling. But damn, Hallie, how much wrestling gonna watch? I hope he comes back stronger than ever next year, man. I really do like watching Tyrese Halliburton play. But I'm tired of watching him sitting in the stands.
Busy in April. Be busy
right,
in April
bro.
Next year, man.
Be in the playoffs next year, please. I'm tired of seeing you sitting in the crowd. Same with Funny Marco. Same with Tony Hinchcliffe. Everybody. It's done. Then, on top of that, we have, Adam Weitzman? What's his name? The guy they just introduced and said, hey, he's here. And he says nothing. And I'm like, who the hell is that? I look him up. It's like, oh, he's a very rich person who I'm sure paid for this experience to have the quote unquote best seat in the house to sit next to the announcers. They sold a seat at the announcer table.
He wanted no parts of anyone hearing his voice.
Apparently, he just looked at the camera. He didn't even wave at the camera. He's like, that's me. I don't like, why did you have to introduce him to the fans at home? Who gives a damn? No, nothing personal. But like, I didn't come here to see Adam Weitzman. I came here to see Trick Williams. Okay? And he don't look nothing like Trick Williams. I came to see Roman Reigns and CM Punk. I didn't come to see this rich man just sit there and nod his head and not say anything. But it seems like WWE or TKO, whoever you want to blame, there's just no limit to what they're willing to sell now, including WrestleMania, including the entire 4-hour show that features barely 90 minutes of wrestling each night. And it's like, what are we doing here? We've lost what WrestleMania was. It's the mania of wrestling. Like, we need a lot of it. And it's not being treated as like the final chapter in a season as much. Right. It feels like as much as it is an opportunity for WWE to promote. They know this is the show with the biggest eyeballs. So we're going to charge a premium for our ad space, whether that's on commercials or ads or turnbuckles. And we're going to sell a premium, try to sell a premium for anything else. You want to sit next to the announcers? Give us $5 million. Whatever the case may be, it is for sale. And I think that for at least us hardcore, diehard, longtime wrestling fans, that hurts the product of the show. And I don't know if it attracts new fans either. I don't think you're serving either one, really, by having it this way, other than you and your bottom line. But, Mark, I feel like you might have some strong feelings about this. How do you feel about this over-commercialization of WrestleMania?
Yeah, it's a joke. I feel like you hit all the nails on the head. I don't have any, I guess, unique ideas or concepts about it. I mean, it's sad to see. And I think the two-nightification of WrestleMania, which is the right call. I was at WrestleMania 35. I was there. I was stranded in the parking lot because New Jersey Transit shut down at 1 a.m. before the show actually even ended and stranded 20,000 people in the parking lot.
Which is insane. What's up with y'all, New Jersey Transit? Y'all also charging a bunch of people to get to the World Cup final, too, I saw. What's up with y'all?
Well, I think, if I remember correctly, I believe WWE told them the show would end at like 12, and then it ended at like 1:30. So I think part of it was on WWE also. But yeah, it was an absolute disaster. And I understand the need for a two-night WrestleMania. Having said all that, they have not figured out how to seemingly balance the two nights yet. Every year we come out of Saturday feeling like we just got robbed of our night and feeling like we just have the worst possible taste in our mouth for something we're supposed to enjoy. And then Sunday's great. And we come out of the weekend like, oh, well, it was great. We had a great weekend. And I think that's part of the calculus for them. Like, I think they know that they can just like shovel slop on Saturday and not really care about the product. And then as long as we leave the weekend happy and Sunday goes well, we won't remember that we felt like we were like, China low blowed in the nuts for all of Saturday night. And that's a little bit different than the commercialization point, but it's just that there is something to be said about it feeling a little less special when there's two nights of it as opposed to one. Now, I think you need the two nights, and I think it gets more people on the card and all that stuff. And if all of the matches were on one night, I can only imagine how much more shortened the matches even would have been from what they were. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like WrestleMania. Really, the only two times it felt like WrestleMania all weekend were the opening of night 2 and the closing of night 2 with Oba Brock and Punk Roman. And last year felt the same. I mean, going back, the most insane part of all this, everybody wants to talk about the ticket prices and why that is. And it is absolutely insane to in 2026 go back to the same place 2 years in a row for WrestleMania. When people are overseas coming to go to the show, people all across the country want to go to the show. It's an absolute joke. And then let's check the calendar for next year.
Yep. A lot less people next year. But go ahead, Roy. Yep.
Yeah, I think the issue is just the too much dead time between the matches, right? Like I think
that's horrible.
Because that's the thing. It's like you have an 8-minute match, and then you have commercials, and then you have whatever, and then you have the entrances and things like that. Like you're probably
let's not forget the Hulk Hogan excerpts from Netflix too. If you watch through Netflix, you got like
Hulk Hogan promotion, right?
4-minute excerpts from the documentary.
Right, yeah, like I've seen that clip of him taking Linda Hogan's tights like 58 times. Like, all right, like he used her tights for the NWO. Like, all right, I get it. But you have the ads, and then you have the Netflix stuff, and then you have the celebrity stuff. Like, there's probably times, and I'm not going to go back and check, but there's probably times where we probably went like 20 minutes between actual wrestling, like action in the ring. You have an 8-minute match, and then you have 15 or 20-minute break, then another 8-minute match, another 15 or 20-minute break. It kind of takes you out of it, right? It just kind of takes you out of the lore, so.
It gives me a chance to check my phone and do a whole bunch of other stuff besides watching wrestling. And it like I said, it takes you out of it. It just feels disjointed. It just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, so I just think there's a middle ground between that and then the AEW WrestleFest, which is like here's 13 matches. Here's 13 matches on a 6-hour card, right? Like
13 20-minute matches.
Right, like they're going to give you 13 20-minute matches. They'll give you like a minute of promo between each other. You can't even go to the bathroom, and then bam, we're back. And Will Ospreay is fighting somebody for another 20 minutes. Like there's a balance between the two, and I think you can do that even with the 2-day WrestleMania. They just haven't found it yet, and I don't know if they will. Again, I think there's just too much money to be made. Again, like you have advertisements on the ring buckles, on the turnbuckles now. So like whatever dollar they can squeeze out of these PLEs, they're going to do it. So I think there is a middle ground. I just don't think they're ever going to find it.
Yeah. You bring up a great point as far as the middle ground, because I've routinely complained about AEW shows being 6-7 hour marathons. And that's not what I'm looking for from WrestleMania. Like you said, a middle ground. There has to be a middle ground between 13, 15, 20-minute matches and 6 matches where one may go 10 minutes and the others did not. They're 7-8 minutes, like a TV show. Like
right.
That doesn't make any sense to me, especially for WrestleMania. Like, come on. Like, this is the time to turn it up. This is the time where the special moments happen and the great matches happen. I understand if you don't want to do it at WrestlePalooza in October or September, but at WrestleMania, you're supposed to leave it all out there. Like, that's like a team saving their best player for the Super Bowl. Like, it's the Super Bowl. He's got to play if he's healthy. No, let's save him for next season. No, this is Super Bowl.
Yeah. Like you said, like this is the season finale, right? This is supposed to be the end of all of the, the rivalries and the hatred that these people have built up over, months and months, even if it's just since, Royal Rumble. Like you're building up to this all season. Like they come into each year building to WrestleMania as the final point, the season finale of their season. And then we get a 7-minute match between, Liv Morgan and Stephanie McCare. It's like, come on, man. Like, that's not really, that's not how you still tell stories. That's not how you land a plane. I always like to say, well, can they land the plane when it comes to this rivalry? And I don't think they landed the plane quite the way they should have with some of these matches.
Absolutely not. Nick, how are you? What was your viewing experience like with all these commercials and long breaks in between matches?
I mean, obviously, Saturday I didn't mind it because I had the Flyers game on. So I wasn't like at a party. I had multiple screens to where the ads, weren't as big a deal for me because I could just ignore a lot of it and pay attention to the Flyers more. And that was a game they won. So it wasn't that. Is also a bad viewing experience if you're TKO and you're WWE. You don't
I was about to say that's not good news.
You don't want WWE. You don't want that answer from people watching your show. So, I mean, like, I kind of tapped out with this commercial stuff. It's so bad now. Like I missed the pay-per-views that were 2.5 hours because they didn't have any commercials, and storylines came to a head. You had the blow off, and then boom, you just watched TV the next week to see what the next course of feuds are for the next pay-per-view, and that's just not how they work now. And I think I just kind of tapped out to that, in that it's never going to be that way again. So I try to fill my time with their commercials. So I try to, do something else or focus on something else, maybe work during that commercial time. It's a crazy thing how the viewing experience has changed, but not surprising, if you're a current fan. But, if you were watching in the 90s, it's just like a complete culture shock almost that now wrestling is that way. AEW pay-per-views aren't like that, and that's like, I guess, the closest we'll ever be. I can't say in the future they won't start doing the same thing if Tony can sell that ad space. So that's kind of like the only throwback we have right now. So WWE shows are just like a brutal watch to sit through. SmackDown at 3 hours now, and your premium live events aren't even commercial free now. So you
on platforms you already pay for too. You already paid for the app. You already paid for ESPN. You know what I'm saying? Now you still getting commercials. Still getting a bunch of commercials.
Yeah, I rounded up these times, 174 total minutes. So that means there were less. It was less of that this weekend, and that's less than 3 total hours of wrestling time on 2 shows that were at least 4 hours each. So
night 2, I think, didn't cross 4 hours. I think night 2 was done before 4 hours.
Three and a
like
half,
350 something.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
that was a short show.
How about that? They just said Roman and Punk, go ahead, close it down. And they did. Couldn't end it much better than that though. But it's just a tough watch. So like I fill that time just doing other stuff, which is, I never thought like wrestling would be able to be viewed that way. Like pro sports, you have halftime, you have the intermissions in hockey, you have halftime basketball, football. Even soccer has a halftime. Baseball, you got in between innings. So I mean, like it's something that I never thought I would be watching. Like, this is wrestling. Like, this is pro wrestling. It's entertainment. I just didn't think we'd get to this point. And I guess I was just not expecting WWE to ever have an owner that wasn't Vince McMahon or part of the family. So I'm not saying Vince would have never done this, but I mean, his track record was, he could have done it plenty of times, and he just didn't. So I think eventually we probably would have wound up here anyway. Just kind of sucks that we're here and got to deal with it.
Yeah, it's a real tough watch, like you said. Just, you would think that their goal would be to keep you engaged at all times. And obviously, even you watch football games and basketball games, they got commercials and they have natural stoppages that allow for commercials, and they take TV timeouts. So if you've been to football games, you see the guy in the red shirt come out in the field, that means it's a TV timeout about to come up. So it's not like it's an uncommon thing for this in sports, but it's just uncommon for wrestling for sure. We're not used to this level of commercialization on our bigger shows. On TV, obviously, Raw, SmackDown, obviously. But for WrestleMania, like you said, the old pay-per-view model, there was no commercials at all. And now,
when they had the intermission, like the intermission was there, but like it was better than what we're getting today. Like, I'd take a 15-minute intermission or however long it was over this.
Yeah, it was tough, and there's no reason for it other than to make room for commercials. Like, even in football, you might have a punt and the play stops, and it's like, okay, we'll take a commercial here because it's a natural stoppage here. And I guess you say the in between matches is a natural stoppage, but I'm not used to this. Get the next match out there. What are we waiting for? We don't need that.
Like backstage promos, that's like you utilize that time in between matches for that, not commercials that we saw the same commercials back to back nights too. So it wasn't that Hulk Hogan like trailer. Like I've had enough. Like we don't need this.
Yeah, it was a tough watch, but that was WrestleMania 42, another one in the books. It sounds weird to say because I feel like WrestleMania is usually like this massive, monumental thing that has these ripple effects, and something historic is going to happen. And for the most part, I didn't feel like that much happened at this year's WrestleMania, unfortunately. And that sucks, honestly. I feel like I don't say that in a good way. I just feel like it just happened. WWE is going to make a killing, obviously. They're going to make a bunch of money. They're going to tout all kinds of success, except for ticket sales. Because, yeah, they announced 106,000, but we all know that number is less than what they had last year. And that's the announced attendance. It's not even like maybe the real attendance. That's what they announced. They had no choice but to announce 2 nights of smaller numbers than they had the year prior, which maybe their gate records is still intact, or not really intact, but maybe they broke some gate records because they charged so much money for the tickets. I don't know. But maybe this was a lesson to them. I don't know if it is, though, as far as running the same city 2 years in a row. I don't know if it is, because they're going to Saudi next year, and we'll see what happens after that. And they can chalk this up to like, oh, it's just, we shouldn't have done it, but we got the money, and we could do it again maybe another time, or whatever. We'll learn from it and won't do it again, but at least we made a bunch of money from it. I'm not sure they actually learned from it, though, to be like, you know what? Maybe we should lower ticket prices. Maybe we should pace the show better. It's just like, well, we'll do it again next year.
I read a tweet that I forget who it was, but I wish I bookmarked these things when I bring them up on the podcast, but I never do. That Saturday night felt like TKO thinking they can run a wrestling show, and then Sunday night was like WWE running the wrestling show. That's kind of what it felt like.
And I mentioned this on last week's show. Both nights had different branding. That's the first time they really separated the branding for each night. And I don't know if that was a TKO and WWE thing, but I did find it interesting because it did feel like 2 different shows to a certain extent, 2 different vibes, and that just another thing that I noticed as far as the branding of each night and how they changed it with John Cena when he comes out and like, welcome back, and it's like now it's blue, and it's like a different show. But it was an interesting thing that I noticed. But yeah, it's strange stuff going on with WrestleMania. It's weird. It's so weird to say that about WrestleMania, bro. But that's what happened in Vegas this past weekend. So let's wrap it up, I guess, for episode 462. Since we talked pretty much everything we could talk about WrestleMania. Mark, if you want to give some final thoughts and take us out with some plugs, please.
Yeah, it's funny in terms of like thinking about this WrestleMania and where it ranks historically. It's kind of, I always think about some of the Manias like 13, where you have that Bret and Austin match. That's one of the greatest matches ever. The rest of the show is not watchable now. Like, if you want to go throw on Mania 13, there's really nothing else on the card of value. So it's like, how good was that Punk Roman match? Did it make this WrestleMania special enough that in 10 years we'll kind of forget the rest of the card and remember Punk and Roman? It'll be interesting to see kind of the legacy of this Mania as it lives on. But I don't think I'll be thinking about much from it besides how night 2 opened and how night 2 closed. But you can check me out at Mark Henry Jr. NFL and check out everything I've got going on this week for the NFL draft over at Eagles Pinfield Network.
Man, I almost forgot the NFL draft is this week. I shouldn't forget because I got to work. But there's a lot going on, man. Too much going on. Roy, final thoughts and take us out with some plugs, please.
I do want to mention one thing. Congratulations to Bianca Belair, Montez Ford.
Ah, yes. Can't forget that.
Yes, on the new edition or soon to be.
I think that saved night 1.
Your family.
It did, honestly.
Pretty much. Kudos.
It saved. It also saved Cena from having to announce that number of the attendance too. Like his 50,816. Oh wait, 50,817. How cute.
Yeah,
but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Gave John Cena something to do because he was like hyping up this host thing for like weeks. And he just comes out and just announces the attendance both nights. Like, okay, I guess that's the special thing, but whatever. Anyway, so kudos to Bianca and Montez for that. You can catch me again on Twitter at the BS Line. I'll be doing all things. Hopefully, I'm in the bullpen for the guys over at PHLY. So hopefully, now that the Sixers have made this a series, I'll be in the studio this week to talk about Game 3, maybe Game 4 as well. So hopefully Sixers can extend this series and we can get a couple of teams in the city making some deep playoff runs this spring.
There we go. You mentioned Bianca Belair and Cena. I guess more so Cena. I did like the Danhausen segment from night 2 where he throws a puff of smoke down and tries to run out the ring. I was dying laughing when he did that.
To the Bianca point, by the way, when they did the +1 thing, it made me 100% think of WrestleMania 3 when Gorilla and Jesse starts going, did they count us as part of the attendance, Gorilla? That's 100% where my mind was.
Yeah, congrats to them.
Yeah.
We'll still miss you, Bianca.
Yeah.
You know, we'll still miss you, but you
It
gotta
does
go
make
off
me
and
feel a little bit better about her absence, though.
Yeah,
that is
Like,
true.
You know, it was, I think all of us were like, yeah, Bianca's coming back in the Rumble, and then she's going to win the title of Mania. And it's like, we didn't get any of that. Like, damn.
Montez Ford said, I got other plans.
Exactly.
Now we know when Montez showed up, let's say maybe a little heavy. He was gaining sympathy weight.
Sympathy weight. Yep. Yep.
And he gotta go to work now.
Yeah.
She's not working. You gotta go to work now, Montez. Get out there, make the money. Nick, final thoughts and take us out with some plugs, please.
I mean, WrestleMania was WrestleMania, so definitely not up there with one of my all-time faves, but I might rewatch Punk and Roman a couple times because I think it was that good, and I do appreciate CM Punk at the main event of WrestleMania. Like, this run from him in WWE, like showing out pretty much, being the world heavyweight champ, going into WrestleMania as world heavyweight champ, like in the main event, like I think it's cool for somebody like him, and he showed why he deserves that spot and probably deserved it over a decade ago. So hats off to him. You can follow me at _Piccone on Twitter and on TikTok. I'm at Piccone on Bluesky and at Piccone Nick on Threads for my Philly sports and wrestling content. And you can check me out at crossingbroad.com for any Philly sports happenings. Hey, we're busy with the Sixers and Flyers right now. The Phillies.
Yes, we are.
Someone might get fired soon, so stay tuned.
Oh, boy.
For that. I don't know if it's really going to happen. I mean, they're not even. Whatever. I'm tired of that right now. I know it's April, but I'm done. So, and you can check us out at shootersradio.com and shooterspod.com for where we are available on any platform, your platform that you wish to use to listen to us. And we're at Shooters Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, Facebook, and Patreon.
All right, I am at Vaughn M. Johnson on X. I guess I should give my final thoughts on WrestleMania too. I feel like I did. It was weird. It was weird, man. It didn't feel like the monumental show that I knew and loved growing up. What happened to the game I love, bro?
Yeah.
What happened? I don't know. But I am at Vaughn M. Johnson on X. I'm at Vaughn Johnson on many other platforms as well. Instagram at Vaughn Johnson 166. You can catch us on Patreon, patreon.com/shootersradio, where you can request a future deep dive. And don't worry, we got Backlash 99 in the works as the next deep dive because we're heading into Backlash. If you want to request a future deep dive just like that one, head on over to patreon.com/shootersradio, and we will fulfill your request and let you make a cameo on the show that we're diving deep into. So once again, patreon.com/shootersradio. Until next time, for Ray Burton and Mark Henry Jr. and Nick Piccone, I'm Vaughn Johnson. Thanks for listening to episode 462 of The Straight Shooters, and we'll catch y'all again next week.
Peace.
Hey, Clavis! Wake up! The show's over. Oh, yeah! Kick it!